And okay.
So I'm clicking on the link in the chat. Thank you, Miss, for posting all those links so I can get my points today. Thank you.
So what are we doing today is you should have your annotated colored drafts done, but today's more of a catch-up day, wouldn't you say, Miss?
Yeah.
So your annotated colored drafts should have 5 or more metaphors, and you're building these metaphors on. So today we're going to be talking about how you can build metaphors onto your mask. So you don't want to like turn in a flat mask that's just like the shape of the base that you have. Oh, I didn't change this in the Nearpod. This is the actual. Okay. So first we're going to start off talking about how we can build these add-ons, and you're going to do this for your academic prep and have it done for this class. It's Friday. And then you are going to your digital notebook and you're going to post your promise. So there's this template at the end of your digital notebook slides, and you're going to write your promise, how you're keeping this promise, and the we all need connecting it back to everyone. So again, we're going between the masks and the promise and talking about the metaphors that we're building on. So looking ahead, I want to make sure everyone knows like what track we should be on right now. So for your draw it background, you're entering where are you, like circle, this is where you should be by like the end of tomorrow at least. Hopefully you're already done with your colored drafts, but let us know your colored annotated drafts actually.
And I just want to throw in the annotation explaining how your mask choices, your add-ons to your mask relate to your promise. That is your fire right for the week. So I just want everyone to keep hearing that. We're really combining a lot of assignments at the end here, trying to make sure everyone finishes. And you need to stay on schedule. You can't procrastinate. I got a lot of procrastinators in here. Okay, keep going, Miss. I'm sorry.
And circle when you are presenting. So what period are we? When are you presenting?
So to clarify, Miss, I'm going to circle where I'm presenting, and then I circle something on the left to let you know that I know where I'm at and I'm here.
Yes.
Okay.
So we got Anthony said I need to catch up and create my annotated colored draft with my promise on the outside. So yeah, that's also important because our promise is like, our mask is a visual representation of our promise. So you do have to have your promise on the outside of the mask so it connects back to the promise you're making. Awesome. Devin circled. We are presenting on Wednesday, June 2nd. Yes, the 2nd. Promise and presentations. And you're presenting your slides, like your digital notebook slides. So having those done is going to be really helpful for you. And that's on slide 18 of the deck. So click on that and you'll see it. Make sure you answer both questions. Where are you and when are we presenting?
So Miss, like if I'm on schedule, that means that my colored draft, my colored annotated draft is done and it's on Seesaw. And I know what I'm going to build onto my mask.
Yes, 5 or more metaphors.
5 or more like add-ons. And can you show me a picture of where my mask should be on Thursday? Like after async day, what should like my mask look like?
So your mask should have all of these add-ons. You can see like this example mask has like this outside, like kind of frayed, like extra paper mache, this thing like sticking up. You're not painting it yet. You're adding a whole nother layer of paper mache onto the mask again, or like doing, like you can see they have like this part cut away and they have all these little add-ons. So this is what your mask should look like by Friday.
Okay, so I have a plan. And I like, let's say I'm saying I'm broken and things have happened to me. So I put all those sticks in there. I show that I'm going to do that in my draft. My color draft doesn't need to be super neat, right? Like I could just like have a messy plan, explain how it's right. It doesn't need to be pretty like that one. I
Yeah.
just need to show that I have a plan, and I just need to connect it to my promise. What if I'm stuck? What if I feel like I don't know what to do?
Then you should probably go back to your thinking maps. There's a video. Where is it? Is it this one? It is this one. But this video kind of like goes step by step through like an example of a thinking process of how you can use your map and like connect it back to creating metaphors. And if you can't think of any metaphors, you also have like that metaphor resource. So
And
if you
show
go,
us where that link is. So that link is right there in the communication board.
there are a lot of embedded links in all of the decks, and that's why they're really important for you to like go back and open.
So I should actually open and read stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. So like, yeah, like think of it as like your textbook, right? We have all these tools for you. Wow, Miss, so you made like a Google Drive folder of metaphors for the students?
Yes. Well, this is your folder.
Oh,
I just made
okay.
the
I
slide.
did? Wow. Okay, cool. Okay, I just wanted to show everyone, like, don't be stuck. Like, we should see you signed on to these resources, like that you're like trying stuff. Okay, Miss, sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to ask the questions that might be going on in the kids' heads, but maybe they're too scared to ask, or they came in late and they're trying to figure out what's going on. So it's kind of like a catch-up day, and we're getting ready to catch up during async time.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. And I'm not painting on my mask. I'm just building on, and I have a plan. I have a draft.
Yes.
Okay, so let's give some shout outs to everyone who's on Nearpod.
Nice. Khalil, Louisa,
Mm-hmm.
Anthony,
Mm-hmm.
Lucia,
Mm-hmm.
Juan. I don't see. Oh, are you on? You're on B. Okay, Juan. Devin,
Mm-hmm.
Jocelyn, Marilyn,
Mm-hmm.
Miss Kopera, Marcos, Janara, and Esmeralda.
And I've been talking to some of you during office hours. Something like that art teaches you, and we're like almost juniors in high school, is remember the work continues outside of class. So basically, like you come to class, you figure out what you need to do. You need to work outside of class. And I'm seeing some kids who aren't on Nearpod, like make sure you sign in and you engage and you have a plan. It's not too late for anyone to pass. Okay, we have office hours today.
Also, I think Jason. And Jason, remember to circle what step you're on right now.
And
And
guys,
waiting for
sorry,
responses.
sorry, Miss. I just want to like remind everyone, the quicker you do the Nearpod, the quicker we can get to work time too. So sometimes it takes it like we log in 20 minutes late and then like we don't get on to Nearpod, right? So we're kind of waiting for you to engage so we can go on so we know you're with us. Okay, Miss, I'll be quiet for a while.
Zahir's coming in now, Miss.
Mm-hmm.
I just admitted him. Waiting for Alexandra, Anthony Mencia. Thank you, Jasmine. I see you just hopped on. Jose. So be here. Let us know you know what we're doing. And if you're ever like in the middle of class, you're like, wait, what are we doing? We have like Miss has like this agenda thing set up for us so that you always know like what step we're on.
All right, Miss, let's get cracking. Let's keep moving.
Okay.
You're doing awesome.
So before we lose everyone, we want to talk about the academic prep or asynchronous work you're going to be doing. So you have all of these super helpful video links that go step by step. So just like you like watch the videos when you were building the base of the mask, you're going to be doing that for the add-ons. And it's all labeled, has arrows going to each and every one. Should I play this like quick version, Miss? Or
Yeah, I think so. And is there a Nearpod activity where the kids can show that they are thinking about it?
yes.
Okay, so like we need to know that you are, number one, watching the video and you understand the steps. I have to say, when I teach art in person, it's hard to even get some kids to pay attention to a video where you're learning what you need to do. So show us on this, Miss, you give them instructions, sorry.
Yeah, show us on the collaboration board that you are watching the video and you like understand what we're doing next, because it's really important. We see a lot of students who like don't follow directions or don't follow the video and just don't come up with the same like end product. And like before I start, I want to show you like the difference between students who sometimes don't plan enough when they go into the mask. Like you can see they didn't do any add-ons, their mask is kind of falling apart, versus students. A strong example, she has add-ons, she colored it well. Like you can tell like she planned this out. You can't just like go into art with no plan for a project like this.
So that's a great point, Miss. So that's why the color drafts are so important. So you can tell when someone had a color draft and one didn't. Right? You could tell when it's kind of like a last minute thing. So like, yeah, see this clear plan. I want to tell you as a teacher, it's the students that have a vision, right? Having a vision for your life is everything. Art is a metaphor for life. So you want to have a vision for your art. Art represents your life. If you have a plan, you will have a strong art piece. So catch up, make that plan. All right, Miss. That was a great point you made, Miss, about the planning and the example and the non-example. That was awesome.
Yes. So this is like the sped up version of our
And
second
we're on
layer.
for another paper mache mask video. This is day 2 of project attach the objects to the mask. And then
So when you're going through, you have like all these helpful step-by-step instructions. So after you finish the draft, you're doing the objects, adding on the objects. So find like those toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls, like the cardboard, or just like cut up cardboard from a box, but you can get creative with how you do the add-ons.
you will see me covering the mask with a final layer of paper mache to unify everything together. Again, this is like the day 2. You can split these steps up into 2 separate days. You can add your objects and then you can cover your paper mache on a second day. If you want to split this video into 2 separate workshop sessions, it's totally fine. Okay. Make sure that you check out the full.
Miss, can you pause, like as you scrub through that? Listen, everyone. So, Miss, a clarifying question: can I build on the like let's say I want to build on a mouth and I want to build on horns and I want to build on ears? Can I do that and then take a break and do paper mache like an hour later after I do other homework?
Yeah, that you can like hop in between like doing the add-ons and then like let that sit, do other stuff, come back to it, and then add the paper mache.
So, Miss, maybe like as kids are writing on the collaboration board, and shout out to Marilyn, by the way, like you should be writing, taking notes on the video on the collaboration board. Okay. So even though Marilyn said some stuff, that doesn't mean you don't say anything, right? Like Nearpod is graded, right? So like if you're not on Nearpod, you're not getting classwork points. So you are listing right now, you're typing on Nearpod the steps, and Miss, just pause and like once we're done with the building the add-on and the video, say, okay, this is when you can take a break. Just make that distinction for the kids one more time. Okay, guys, pay attention.
As you can see, my mask is hard, and I took the time to cut paper, to cut the sides of the mask off. Again, you can hear me talking about this in real time. Then I went around my house and I started to gather paper towel and like toilet paper tubes and paper towel tubes because they make great additives. Like the cardboard is really hard and it's strong. So you can see right here in this demo me creating horns, and I create those horns by twisting them and adding masking tape. This is where you have to really be a problem solver. My friend Miss Hibbler said that art is a degree in problem solving, right? So we're like kind of like looking around our house, we're looking for found objects, and we're figuring out how we can build onto this mask. I also want to give a shout out to Stephanie Lowe, if you ever are watching this, for introducing me to this project. I hope that this helps other art teachers too. It's a great project for students to build this meaningful map.
I think a mistake that some people might make at this point is trying to like glue or tape, say you're building horns or something like round like this, and you try and attach it to the mask, but like you can't attach like this little bit, like the end part of this toilet paper roll, so you can like see what Miss does next.
Mask. Next,
she like cuts
on the project playlist.
She cuts it and that turns it kind of flat, so that gives it like more surface area to like hold on to the base of the mask with.
Yeah, I call those tabs.
What are they called?
And, yeah, tabs. And even if we were doing clay, guys, we would need to construct tabs as well. So you need to have, like, this is a point we didn't make to period 3, so hopefully they watch this. It's like tabs help you to attach. So you need to think like an engineer. It's like, how am I going to attach? How am I going to build things? Because you want to build a structure that's sound. You want your promise to be sound. You need tabs. And you can see I'm cutting with the tabs. You're creating tabs.
I have like glue on. I reckon.
And also, sorry, Miss, I make sure you use glue. I know I make this point in the video, but I would use the tacky glue and I would use the masking tape. That's why I had AGR give you an entire roll of masking tape. And make sure you cover the table too. Sorry.
Yes, let's not make a mess. Yeah, you can see Miss like prepares everything. So she like glues it down first, but then like the glue's not enough. So then she also tapes it.
And have those little pieces of tape as well. So Miss, can you give a like pause and give a shout out to everyone who's writing on Nearpod? Because I'm not sure if everyone understands that they should be explaining what they're learning on Nearpod right now. And there's like, don't just write one thing and walk away from your computer. There's a lot to write about right now, like the tabs. So can you give some shout outs to those kids?
Yeah, shout out to Marilyn, Janara, Lucia, Jasmine, Jocelyn, Diego, and Jose. So yeah, step 1 after the plan and the annotation, the colored draft and the annotation, is to go around your house and find items that you can use as add-ons. Get creative. I'm seeing a lot of look around, use reusable items you can find anywhere as add-ons. Make the items. Make sure you have an area where you are going to work. Yes, that's actually a really important step that we kind of blow over. Thank you, Lucia. Make sure you cover the table with something and you're wearing clothes that are old. All right. Thank you, Esmeralda and Lucia. So another thing that Miss like also talks about later is like using this paper could be helpful, but Miss, didn't you say that was like it kind of got floppy when you tried to add the mache on top of that?
Yeah, that is something I didn't foresee. So I ordered this tag board for the mask. I was like, oh, they used it for the skateboard project. We'll use it for the mask. It's a little bit thin, right? So that's why I really recommend you guys find, once again, paper towel rolls and toilet paper rolls, or look around your house for like pieces of cardboard boxes, like really strong structures, wires, straws are really good. Sticks are good. We used a lot of like popsicle sticks chopsticks. So just like kind of like junk from around the house that like normally would get thrown out, like chopsticks or a fork. Like I've seen kids use like plastic forks and knives and kind of like attach them. So you're using found objects to kind of create this effect. And Miss, can you like loop back to the that example of where they should be real quick in the deck? Sorry to get you to dial back, but like see right here, I just want to point out like this kid, oh my gosh, there's like popsicle sticks, random sticks. He's got toilet paper rolls in there. And like that shows that he's like been through a lot. Like his history is complicated. And it doesn't need to be like some like fancy metaphor. You can just make a really messed up face, right? Like with like scars and wounds. He's got toothpicks in there. I'm trying to remember all the stuff he put in, but that's like a piece of a plastic fork sticking out from his eye, right? You could like make these like, with a plastic fork, you can make like eyelashes, fancy eyelashes sticking out that represent fake beauty. So it's really about breaking up a bunch of junk and exploring, gluing on, and trying stuff. So I just want to point that out, like that there really is no wrong answer. And you can have your draft. It doesn't have to end up looking like your draft. We just want to see that you have a plan going in. And then your art will evolve because art is a process. Art changes. I got you, Alexandra. Okay, sorry, Miss, to take your energy.
You didn't miss. I like how Janara also like kind of went ahead and said, make sure you have enough strips, which reminds us that yes, you are adding. So after you do the add-ons, you're doing like the same paper mache process that you did on the base layer again. So you should have leftover flour if you got flour from the school. And you're doing again the 1 cup flour, 2 cups water to make your glue. And you're dipping in like the paper strips that you have left over from the base.
I'm adding all sorts of different layers. I'm soaking these strips into the goop, and make sure that you take the time to scissor it. I'm seeing very interesting stuff in my class seesaw. Some students aren't pressing down.
Miss, they can stop
around
here.
from
So
the
like,
edges of
did you make that point?
sorry, I
Did you
forgot.
make, yeah, did you make the point that this is a place where you could pause and go do something else for your mom? Like that is a good stopping point right there. And then you want to finish like what I would do, guys, today, thinking about schedules. If you're behind, I would do color draft today. I would find your junk. I would add your junk on during academic prep. Then tomorrow, do the paper mache. So just really trying to break the steps down for students as they go into async time. And remember, you need to ask questions. Normally, you would be looking around a classroom and seeing what everyone else is doing. You need to ask questions and come to office hours if you don't understand the process or are stuck, right? But make sure you use the videos. Use the videos. Okay, sorry, Miss. I just wanted to like point out this is a stopping point if you need to take a break and go make the paper mache, and you have exactly enough flour in the bag for 2 paper mache sessions. You have 2 cups of flour. So you should have enough to make 1 more batch of goop. Keep adding on to Nearpod, guys, as Miss plays the rest of the video.
Yeah, I need to see more like what are the next steps after you do the add-ons. I don't know what's wrong with my computer.
Is it frozen, Miss?
Oh, it's loading. Okay, here we go.
So continue to add layers. Now this is complicated because you want to make sure everything's unified, everything's covered, it looks interesting, and it still looks like a face. So once again, like you may want to look at your schedule and plan a separate hour where you add the paper mache on top. But I want to do this as one video so you could kind of see like how I build onto the objects and then how I cover the objects with paper mache. But again, you could divide this into 2 separate work sessions. I did it in one. It really depends on your time management and how you're planning your art construction life. So you even want to go ahead and you want to add paper mache into the back. Now I want to point something out right here. As I was adding the paper mache onto the back, it's like very, very interesting. I had too many pools of paper mache, and then my mask ended up, after it dried, growing mold. Not like the mold of the mask, like green mossy mold. So as you're building, make sure you're kind of like drawing the mask as you go. Slowly press into all of the layers. Now, pay attention. Remember how prior knowledge, when we were building the base of the layer, we were going every other vertical layer, horizontal. You can see I'm going ahead and I'm doing that. I'll add vertical layers of paper mache, I'll add horizontal layers, and I'm covering all around the mask. I'm covering all sorts of little pieces. Hopefully you didn't run out of strips of paper, right? That's why on the first day we said, cut a ton of strips of paper, because there are 2 separate paper mache sessions. There's a session, once again, where you build the base and it looks more like a bowl with a nose, but now we're making it complicated after the thinking maps and the metaphor brainstorms. Now we're adding on and we're kind of like making it deeper. Okay, but again, don't skip steps. So here you go, I'm adding on to the eyebrows. And I just wanna say, like, the more complex your mask is, the cooler it is. But sometimes, like, see how I'm struggling with the ear flaps right here? Like, you really want strong objects. You want.
So what do I need to refresh Nearpod, because I only see Jenny knows what we're doing right now. Like everyone kind of stopped after, and Janara, after the add-ons, everyone kind of disappeared after we saw the add-ons. So where's everyone else?
Yeah, like, and you know, this is a common issue with distance learning, but it's like, this is out of love. Like, we need to know that you understand every step, because art is time consuming. So are you here? Can you please write on Nearpod here? Okay, well, Marilyn's here, Diego's here. Like, sometimes we don't have the words, you know, and like, especially if we're English learners, it's like, I like when I'm in class with you guys, I hear kids say, I just don't know how to say it, right? So it's like, yeah, see, you're here, but it's like you're having a hard time putting it into words. So what I would say is, I would say, I need to make sure I have enough strips of paper. That's something you can write, right? I need to make more goop. That is something you can write. So it's like a word or phrase bank might help them, like within an activity like this, Miss. Okay, so like so now that you're here, if you just did here, we'll give you a point, but explain what you're seeing on the video.
Yeah, thank you, Miss. And we also got a good question. Can I use cans or water bottles? And yes, you could definitely use those things too. You can see like Miss used, she cut open like half a can and like used that as like the mouth portion for this. And yeah, the strips of paper don't have to be perfect again. Awesome, Jocelyn. She's adding more and more paper to the mask, so adding like another hard layer of mache.
Art project. Okay, adding in additional layers, wrapping the layers. I'm trying to unify the front with the back, and then I'm smoothing everything over, and we're getting to the end of the video, folks, right? So you're just gonna kind of like make sure you have last minute things. Notice I'm doing a lot of massaging. I'm using the last minute goop, and then you take it and you find a place for it to dry. You set it out, you put it far away in the sun, and don't forget to clean. Okay, please clean dishes. Please clean up the space. I didn't do a video of me cleaning. Please.
All right. So thank you to everyone on Nearpod. Make sure you can let us know that you know what's happening. Yeah. Okay. So, Andrew coming in. So this is for your academic prep. Please respond. One last question, like double checking, we know what's happening. So looking at this final, like this is where you should be next class when we meet up after you like finish doing the add-ons, you finish doing the second layer of paper mache. Let us know, you know what's happening. How did the artists build on these metaphors? So like, what did they use? What kind of objects might you use? Explain a list of what you're doing for asynchronous time. And why shouldn't you go farther than this? Like, we're not painting this, so why should you wait to move on?
Hey, Miss, so I'm like taking a guess right now.
Yes.
Even though Miss Kopera kind of gave me the answer 3 minutes ago, I'm still guessing.
Yes. We did talk about like the add-ons already. But yeah, you can guess what people use to do the add-ons with. This is the Nearpod link for anyone who just came in. I know it's redundant, but we just see so many like student work come in that's like not following the directions. So bear with us. We want to make sure that we know that you know what you're doing.
Yeah, and I have been like talking to parents, and I say, well, they turn in drawings onto, Seesaw, but like their drawings aren't related to the project. So that's something I've seen a lot during the year too. Like kids think, oh, it's art class, like I can do whatever. And sure, you could do whatever and you could get like some like extra points, but if you don't do this project, which is hard, like it's going to tank your grade. So project work is 60 to 70% of your grade.
Yeah, that's a big percentage. And again, for anyone who might have just come in, Miss, sorry, I let Andrew in.
Thank you, that's helpful. Thank you, Miss.
No problem. So for anyone who might have just come in, today is more of a catch-up day. You're writing your promise in our digital notebook. You're finishing up your annotated colored drafts. And hopefully you already have your thinking maps done. But if not, you can work on that too. So for academic prep, you're going to go back, you're going to open this deck again or you're going to go to Mrs. YouTube channel and find these videos. And they're all listed in number, like real time, so you can build your metaphors along with her and she'll give you good tips.
Miss, I want to point out, like, just to make things easy on them, tomorrow during async time, I would really open this deck because yes, I label all of the videos, like, but I think like it would be more user friendly if you worked off of Miss Hibbler's flow map. So you're kind of following things in order. It might be confusing to go straight to the YouTube playlist, even though the thumbnails of the YouTube videos are labeled. I would do this, and don't like not do the videos, like watch with the videos again. Art, you need to see visual models of the process, and you can't just skip ahead and skip things. You need to pay attention. You need to problem solve. And I hear some kids I've been having conversations with kids who don't want to do some assignments, and they're like, but it's too hard, right? Like art's a chance for you to grow and to grow parts of your brain, problem solving skills, be solution oriented, and this will help you in all other classes. And this helps you with college. Like if something's hard, it's like, okay, you need to follow instructions, go back and problem solve and break things down. Like project work, it requires a lot of brain power because it requires a lot of steps. So you yourself we break things down for you. You need to follow the instructions and make a plan for yourself. Making a plan for yourself is challenging, and we know that it's challenging. That's why it's 60 to 70% of your grade.
Yeah. And thank you so much for everyone who's responded already. Lucia, wow, awesome. Give me hope. I know that Lucia knows what she's doing. So they use popsicle sticks, spoons, forks. What I will do during asynchronous time is continue to build on the second layer of the mask and start getting things from the house that I can add on to the mask. Yeah, like the 5 or more visual metaphors, you have to have these add-ons, 5 or more of them. I should wait because we cannot just rush. We have to think before we do anything because if not, we will do it wrong. Yes. Thank you, Lucia. During async day, we will work on our masks. Yes. And make sure you're all caught up on everything else. This artist built these metaphors by using different supplies you can find in your house. I will finish my color draft and start my second day of building the mask. You shouldn't go farther because you can mess up, also because you're rushing and art takes time. Yes, thank you, Janara. During asynchronous time, I'll work on my mask metaphors and look for things to add on to the mask. I will also work on my color draft. I shouldn't go farther because you can make mistakes by not following along. Yeah, and you need to wait so you know what to do. Thank you, Jocelyn. Yeah, it's interesting, like Devin, like the different objects that they would use. And they don't look like these objects after you add them on and cover them in paper mache. Like you wouldn't be able to tell what these really are. Maybe kind of this. Marilyn said the artist used these add-ons, toilet paper rolls, and glue. For tomorrow, we need to start adding on our add-ons and layering. We need to stop to let it dry. Yeah, you also do need to let it dry in the sun again. So make sure you keep it safe.
Miss, can you just, sorry, you can read Jose's and then just review anyone who has answered. So I can give them their classwork points.
Okay. Use an image that the viewer is meant to understand as a symbol for something else. Often inspired by what they believe, whether it be politics or their childhood. I think Jose answered, like, what is a metaphor? I'll be trying to catch up on work that I missed during the last week. You will be catching up.
Can I say something to the, like Jose, that's totally right, catch up on work. But the point of this activity, and I'm talking to everyone, is that you can put the assignments into your own words. So when you go to a Zoom class or when you go to any class, your goal is to understand what it is you need to do. Because often kids don't understand why they're stuck. So like really sit and self-monitor, ask yourself, do I understand step by step what I'm being asked to do in this class? Don't be like, oh, it's too hard. Like make a plan. So I love, Jose, I am giving you points for saying catch up on work. And that's a beautiful explanation of what a metaphor is. Gorgeous. Like my art teacher and English teacher heart is singing. However, everyone, I need you to put in your own words, make a list. What do you need to do for the project? Number 1, color draft. Number 2, write my promise. Number 3, if you need to finish your thinking maps from last week, do that, right? And then talk about the process in the video, like finding objects, clean up, you know, like what is happening. This artist used paper mache. It's 1 cup flour, 2 cups water. Show us you understand what's happening. No answer, guys. This is unacceptable, right? And your parents deserve a call.
Yeah, stay with us, guys. Like we said earlier, there's a reason to all of these Nearpod questions. We can't see what you're doing, so we need to know that you know what's happening. So we got an answer from Anthony Alvarez, Lucia, Juan, Janara, Jocelyn, Devin, Marilyn, Esmeralda, Jose, and Jenny. And don't forget, Esmeralda, you're doing your annotated colored draft and the metaphor add-ons. Like this needs to be, let me see, this needs to be done by next class. Like we will have this, like the add-ons, the second layer of paper mache done. Okay, we're gonna move on to the promise part of this lesson. So there's a poll now in your pod, and we're gonna start like looking at our promise by like kind of breaking it down to like what makes a promise kind of personal and what makes it memorable. So like facing our past mistakes and looking at this poll, you can click one of these. What's a mistake in your life that stands out to you that you think like maybe your promise might be based from? So a time in your life when you ignored the truth, a time when you stayed silent, a time you were a bystander, which means that you saw something happening that you disagreed with, but you like didn't do anything about it. And it's really hard to stand up for something, right? That's why there are people who are bystanders. A time when you did not try, a time when you did not take action, a time when you were a bully, a time when you hated yourself or others, and we added one more in the near pod, a time when you weren't, I think it was when you weren't
A time when you didn't
empathetic.
show empathy
Yes.
for someone else's pain. Like someone was saying they went through pain and you didn't respond. And guys, being a bystander can like take so many different forms. Like in drama, we are talking about parents who are absent and kind of like not there for their kids. Right? So like being a bystander, upstander isn't just in Mr. Bryant's class. It's very much in our lives. And this mask is going to represent a promise how you want to change. So we want you to do this Nearpod poll to help give you more ideas for your promise, because the best promise presentations are the ones where the students face their mistakes, face when they're in the cave, face when they've done something wrong. So you got to be vulnerable and open. So doing this poll is the first step.
Mm-hmm. And thank you, Khalil, Lucia, Jocelyn, Devin, Marilyn, Anthony, Marcos, Jason, Jose, Martin. It's kind of always like the same people who are and the same people who aren't responding. So those of you who we haven't heard from yet, show us that you're there. Show us you're paying attention. Like this isn't hard. You're clicking a button.
Right, and I don't have to stick with this one, right? Like I don't have to, like I'm just showing you. And clearly, like I could click a lot of them, right? So I don't need to get overwhelmed by the choice. It's just we're kind of like taking a poll. We're seeing like what are the mistakes that we've all made, and as a class, how can we get better? Like we're kind of like identifying patterns.
Yes. I'm seeing a lot in the columns for B and D. What was D? A time when you did not, was it when you didn't try? A time when you stayed silent, for sure.
So Miss, can I be a bystander to myself? Like if inside I'm crying for help and I need something, but I don't speak up, right? Could I be a bystander to my own needs?
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that before. You can also like not be empathetic to yourself. I think a time when I didn't love myself is also one that was very common in our previous classes.
Right. So just to review for everyone, like Miss went over the artistic process portion, the first chunk of the lesson. Now we're dialing back and we're doing conceptual work. We're kind of like helping you with your voice and the why behind your art. And this dials back to the thinking maps from last week, this whole idea of how do I want to change? And we want you to be meditating on that as you do your art. This art should be very much a healing process, a process of what are the positive growth? What's the positive growth? What do I want to leave behind? And that's why those two pictures are there, right? In the deck, it's like, okay, what do I want to take off? And you can see in that picture in the deck, Miss, like she's taking off things. She's leaving things behind. I think that's such like a positive thing. And it's like, what are the flowers you want to go towards? What is the growth you want to go towards? Right? So by identifying our mistakes and things we're not proud of, we can create a brighter future.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the next part is a draw it for us, and you're circling. So we don't want to see anyone like go in and just circle this whole thing. So really like go in and like read things and circle the ones that you like see in yourself that you want to change. So like speaking up and talking to others. Yeah, just circle the ones that stand out to you that you're like, I want to work on these things. And this is also like building onto your promise. Maybe if you're stuck, this can help you. This can be like the stem of your promise. Like I promise to speak up when I need to. I promise to believe in myself. So this is really going to help you like decide what your promise is going to be.
And Miss, I could still get ideas for metaphors, right? So let's say I'm in the middle of doing my color draft. Right now, I could make a promise right now, and then I could go back to your metaphor bank and kind of finish up that color draft and post it to Seesaw. So I have a good async day.
Yes.
Right? So what, Miss, just as people are circling, thank you to all of those who are individually circling. What are some metaphors off the top of your head that kids might use for some of these promises, these different stems?
For like speaking up, I think speaking up is definitely going to be like a metaphor that's attached to your mouth. Like Miss Kopera's piece had like that can that kind of went outwards and had the jewels in it. And that's a really like good way of symbolizing like speaking up to like use your voice. And there's so many other ways to do that. And also if you're feeling stuck, let's just like, I want to see if I can Google metaphor for speaking up and just see what comes up. Google is your friend. Sometimes not as much. Yeah, sometimes it'll take you to something random.
So like you're just pointing out. I mean, I feel like I would direct them to use the resources that we made first. And then like, Miss, can you model this actually? Go to Google Image. Go to Google Image. This is a point that I need to make with all kids when it comes to research. And like adding the word art or illustration at the end of your Google image search will get you great ideas. So Miss, can you write speaking up art? And maybe zoom in for a second so we can see what you wrote. Oh no, don't worry about it, never mind. Okay, so do we see how by writing art at the end, we're getting like ideas for like metaphors? Can you, yeah, look right here. So the flowers, like
Yeah,
clicking,
you have flowers.
right? So you could have all these flowers pouring out of your mouth. Okay, now could you write being blind art? Like type that into it. But by adding the word art or illustration, like you will come up with like stuff that's a little bit more relevant. So look at that, like an eye with a cage. Like, can you click on some of these? Like, it's just so interesting. So you can start to get all sorts of different original ideas, but it's about, this is where we come back to this idea of having a plan. So as you're finishing your promise, as you're working on your promise, you know, you can like get ideas. Like we got, excuse me, like wings. Like I never even thought to put wings on masks, right? So there's like the blindfold, but then you could have wings at the side. There's just like an infinite amount of ideas. Like, look at that. So again, the point I'm making is when you're writing like stuff about your promise or stuff from your maps in Google image, use image. So we're talking about like how to get ideas for your color drafts and your add-ons. At the end of your search, write art or write like illustration. Could you add illustration? Like instead of art and replace art with illustration. So if you write illustration, illustration, yeah, you'll get more cartoony stuff. So maybe just I would add art at the end.
This is so interesting.
Yeah, but you'll get different kinds of stuff. But yeah, so you do end up getting different kinds of stuff when you type in either. So I would try illustration, I'll write that in the chat, or art. So this is a good point to make. Sorry, miss, let's go back to the promise. But I do know there are a lot of kids in here who haven't done their color draft. And there are an infinite amount of ideas on the internet, which can be overwhelming. Just make a choice, make your promise, make a choice, and don't worry about it being wrong. The only mistake you can make is by sitting here and not doing Nearpod.
Yeah, I'm seeing try new things, love myself, believe in myself, to learn from my mistakes and to lift myself up. Oh, Justin has a lot. Speaking up, trying new things, work hard to be better every day, love myself, believe in myself, work hard, leave the cave, open my eyes to the truth, learn from my mistakes, be kind, and to lift myself up. Speaking up, work hard to be better every day, love myself, believe in myself, leave the cave, open my eyes to the truth, and lift myself up. Love myself, learn from my mistakes, and to be kind. And these are all easier said than done. So let's go back to this. So this is like a template of an example that someone wrote. This is like my final promise, right? So we're writing our final promises now in our digital notebook. So let me link that. And you have it laid out so that the colored portion of the text is where you would be typing, like you would change this. So their promise, it says, my final promise is to love myself, help others to learn to love themselves, and to speak up for all those who can't speak up for themselves. I will keep this promise. So they're like going on to saying like how they're going to do this, like how are they going to keep this, because it's so easy to say I promise to do this, but like what are the actions we're going to take? So they're saying, I will keep this promise by choosing positive words of encouragement instead of putting people down, right? And we all need to, is the last part. We all need to live a life of supporting one another. So this is your digital notebook. And if you scroll down, Khalil, you are the first one because your last name starts with A. You can go in and like delete this and like write in your own promise, how you're going to keep this promise and what we all need to do. So it's like the call to action, like how are you going to encourage people to follow your lead? So digital notebook. Notebook. And we're sharing our promises. So I should see a lot of people piling onto this notebook to write their promises out.
So miss, to clarify expectations, don't dump it out. Sorry, I have a sick baby here. I am supposed to be on these slides right now. The one that you just dropped in the chat. And I am supposed to be, I go to my slide and I write my promise now.
Yes.
right? And I could look back at my thinking map from last week.
Mommy, it's still here in here.
No. So like I can go back and I can look, and the digital notebook is like a place for me to drop all my facing history work. So I should be replacing all this stuff and putting like photos of my own work. So when I post on Async Day tomorrow, very good, shout out to A, J, M, and L. I bet you I can guess who they are. Let me try. Anthony, Marilyn, Janara, Lucia. Miss, so can you narrate that?
Marcos.
Let me talk.
It was Marcos, not Marilyn. Yeah, thank you to 4 of you who are on here. So yeah, you should already have, like, this was the first thing we started off this whole unit with. So like the interior versus exterior beauty, like what is true beauty versus like beauty. So we have this awesome slide by Anthony. And then this was your async work that week too. And here you should have inputted a picture of your identity box. Even if you didn't do the digital identity box, we needed you to post a photo of what you have, because you are using these slides to make your presentations. Like looking here, the slides for work week starting on the 17th. So next week, like having this done is going to help future you. So help yourself now.
So Miss, this is my final exam, right?
Yeah.
So the mask and the slides are my final exam. So what we've been trying to do is we've been trying to get you to add on. So we only see 5 kids in the class. And our job as a high school teacher is to teach you guys to work ahead, right? You got to like work ahead on things. You can't procrastinate. And that's college readiness, right? So we're giving you hints and you can see how all of the thinking builds onto each other, right? So like, let's say you're stuck on something. You can look back, be like, okay, well, I don't know what my promise is going to be. Maybe I should look back at my identity box. Or I don't know what my promise is. Maybe I should look back at my thinking maps. And you put your thinking maps in here. Guys, the kids who did these slides and did their masks ended up with a B or an A in the class, as long as they did work in January and February, right? So it's just kind of like, so like these slides are kind of the secret. And I cannot tell you how many students get up in front of the sophomore class and they read, stop miss, that promise. So they read the example promise and they're presenting in front of like a bunch of kids and they realize, oh my gosh, I never put my promise in here, right? So they kind of have this moment of realization, like I didn't even prepare. So miss, so you should see them. So number 1, everyone find your name, right? So I'm gonna paste this again because teachers out there, it's Teacher Appreciation Week, period 5. You want to show appreciation, get on the deck right now and write your promise. Okay, write your promise. Please show us some love. Miss Hibbler's a teacher too, you know. Like she's technically a teacher. Show her some appreciation, get on the deck, find your promise, and we should see them typing right now, miss, right?
Yes. And
Okay.
Miss, just to clarify, so if I'm an art student and this slide has art and drama, so I just have to paste my annotated colored draft on this side and I can leave this side alone?
Yeah, you are putting your color draft on here. So the slides also serve as a checklist, right? Of the different things you need to do before you do your mask, right? So this is like the cognitive work, the cognitive lift. We're asking you to think hard about how you want to change. And then we could set you free to like add on to your mask and paint, you know, and do all the fun stuff, but you have to do that stuff first. And if you're like overwhelmed, well, write your promise right now, and then we can figure out a plan, but you need to take a step forward. So who's editing? Who's editing?
Lucia.
Woo, Lucia, thank you. She's not a teacher's pet, guys. She's just doing her work. That's all it takes. Do your work live.
Amazing.
Thank you for that teacher appreciation gift. Okay, anyone who wants to let Miss Hibbler read your promise or wants to unmute and say their promise out loud, that is a quiz grade. So Miss Hibbler is going to let me know if you've edited your promise, and you get a 4 out of 4 for a quiz grade. This is a formative assessment. And then, or You get like full credit if you unmute and you say your promise right now. So Miss, this is kind of like the exit slip, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Martin, where are you?
So quiz grade and formative, find your name. Let us know if you can't find your slide. Miss, it's the last slide, right? So I find my name and then I go down, I find the last slide.
I can see Jocelyn working. Alexandra, where are you? I know you're here. And Jenny. Jenny, are you on here? I thought I saw your name. No, just kidding. Oh, you are here. Okay. Jenny, your slides start on 142 if you can't find them.
I'm giving a 3 to Jocelyn and Lucia for the quiz grade. If you guys want your 4, you got to say your promise out loud.
I can see Marcos editing. Awesome, awesome. Jaylene, I haven't heard from Jaylene. I don't know if you're here.
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah, Jaylene doesn't talk a lot. Jaylene, are you here? Jaylene. Brian doesn't come to class. It's so sad. Okay, so Miss Marcos, Jocelyn, and
Esmeralda. I can see Esmeralda on her slide.
But she needs to edit it.
Yes.
Okay, Esmeralda, we saw you had ideas in your thinking map, so look back on your thinking map. Okay, so only 4 people have done the quiz, Miss. The formative assessment. So that would be Lucia, Jocelyn, Marcos, and Esmeralda, yes? Okay.
I'll scroll back through, make sure I didn't miss anyone.
So guys, it's not too late. We got a good 4 minutes of class.
Oh, and
right?
Marilyn.
Marilyn, got it. So does anyone want to say their promise out loud for their 4?
Can I go?
Yeah, go. You got it.
So my promise is to believe in myself more, and I will keep this promise by encouraging myself and being more positive. And we all just need to, in general, have a positive mindset.
Awesome. Is that Mara or Janara's slide, Miss Hibbler?
No, sorry. And
I just want to
Jocelyn,
remind Janara, make sure you type that in. Give her some twinkles and make sure you type that in. Okay, Jocelyn, you're on.
Okay, my final promise is to not give up. I promise to let the past be the past and not let it be repeated. And I promise to be more confident and love myself by who I am.
Good, twinkles. Where are those twinkles in the chat? We don't even have people twinkling in the chat. All right, who's next? Who wants to say their promise out loud? It's not required, but it's a good scaffold that I would recommend. Say your promise out loud.
I'll go.
Okay, you're on fire. Go.
All right. My promise is to keep moving forward and trying the best out of everything. While I'm still young and have opportunities. I will keep this promise by keeping a focused mind and always having my goals in mind.
Nice score. Notice everyone how that sentence starter helps because the plan is in the green. Way to type that in, Jason. Thank you. Who's next?
Also, if you're struggling to find your name, I realized there's like a very easy way to do that. I just hit Control F and I couldn't find Jason, so I just typed in his last name and it came up. So if you're feeling stuck, Control F.
Yeah, that's huge. Talk about a scaffold and accommodation. Control F, people.
It's a lifesaver. Always use it.
And that works on all Google Docs?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Okay, who's next? Who wants to say their promise? Miss, who's getting 3s? Who's on their slide in typing? Can you give some shout outs there?
I can see Diego on his slide, not typing though. Jasmine is also on her slide, not typing yet.
So look back at your thinking maps, guys, or look back at your draw it. So we've been doing all these activities to get to the promise. So look back through your notebook. Yeah.
Oh, Luisa.
Louisa's typing. I can give her a 3.
She's working on it.
Guys, it's really important you do this live because it's like, you know, otherwise, because I'm going to input it in the grade book and it's like we have to talk during office hours and figure out what's wrong with your grade. So it's really important you do it live so we don't need to fix it like in June or figure out why your grade is low. Just do it now. Anyone else who wants to go? Who's going to say their promise out loud or who's typing this?
Marilyn? Yeah? Do you want to share your promise with us, Marilyn? It's faster to say it out loud than it is to type, so.
Yeah, I said my final promise is to keep my head up through all the hardships I go through, to not allow my insecurities get to me because I am beautiful and different and I should accept.
Woo! Anyone else? You have to make your promise public, guys. You gotta unmute.
Oh, Jen already shared.
Okay, I got Janara, Marilyn, Louisa, Jason, Lucia, Jocelyn.
Anthony. Solid.
Anthony, I should give him a 3, but is he going to say it out loud?
Right.
Good job, Anthony. I love this. We're not going to read it for you, Anthony. This is your stage. Okay, we'll wait for anyone to interrupt us just because I know time is sacred and some of us are taking care of siblings. A couple of reminders about async. Ooh, nice, Khalil. I'm giving him a 3. I am going to, Miss Tibbler did a phenomenal job adjusting the sequencing of this lesson. I'm going to put it on YouTube. Please, if you have anyone in period 3, encourage them to rewatch this lesson. Please, 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 because I led period 3 yesterday. It was kind of a train wreck. But it's a lesson for Miss Hibbler. It's like sequencing is everything, right? Like the sequencing of activities is everything. As we go forward, you need to have a plan and have a promise, you know, organize your deck a little, make sure you have a like color draft that's annotated up on Seesaw. You get your fire right points, you get quiz points by writing your promise, by doing your color draft, and then go for it. Add on to your mask, guys. Your mask should show your promise. So please on Nearpod, show us you understand where you're going tomorrow. And then we're going to hang out for a second so Miss Hibbler could give shout outs to anyone who is just getting it together and going on the deck. Okay? Thank you, everyone. And we'll hang back for a second if anyone wants to say their promise out loud.
I see Jasmine typing. Oh, I think Diego might be posting. Are you posting your colored draft?
Ooh, that would be exciting. Yeah, it would be pretty hard to not give you a good grade if you have your slides all organized.
Yeah, it'll help you later too. Jason, have I ever met Ava?
I don't know if, let me look at my roster. I don't think Ava is in class today. She's a senior, she's retaking it.
Oh, okay. Oh, Juan, do we see Juan's work?
Yeah, so Juan, make sure you delete the example. So that's how Juan typed his at the bottom. But yeah, guys, so a misconception with this assignment, see, he's deleting it. Yeah, so you get rid of my junk, right? That's just there so you can like understand expectations. Yep, Juan, exactly. Delete my stuff. You guys can make these slides look however you want. Right? Like these are yours. If you want to like, you know, change the font up, make it all bubbly. Anyone else want to say their promise? Bye, Jocelyn. Anyone else typing, Miss?
Do we shout out Jenny?
Oh yeah, Jenny. Let me give her points. Jenny, you want to say your promise out loud for a 4? If anyone else says their promise out loud, I'll ride this bike on camera. I got a bike here. My son got a bike for his 8th birthday and it's sitting next to me. I'll ride a bike in my living room if you want to say your promise out loud. Look, Mrs. gritting her teeth. She's like, ugh, these old teacher tricks. I don't know.
I mean,
yeah,
whatever.
say yours. Okay, Lucia, does that mean I need to ride this bike on camera? Okay, well, you say your promise first, Lucia. Lucia's like, what? What's wrong with that lady? Okay, Lucia, say your promise. Go to go to Lucia's slide.
Wait, I think I passed it.
Use Control F, miss.
Oh yeah, I forget. See, Lucia. Nice. Ooh, it's a big promise.
All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's hear Lucia's promise. I know she wants her 4. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. My final promise is to leave the cave, to make this world brighter and better, to help others out of the cave, to speak up for others who do not know how to speak up. I will keep this promise by asking others if they need help or if they want to talk when I see them sad or lonely. We all need to live a life of working hard and supporting others and helping them feel special or like someone cares about them.
Oh my gosh, can we give her some twinkles? We're 6 minutes after class and she's doing that. See, this is good. Then, Lucia, don't you feel like you're going to be more ready for June 2nd? Anyone else want to say their promise? Lucia, are you going to make me ride this bike? Anyone else want to unmute and say their promise? I'll ride the bike on camera.
She says yes with lots of exclamation points. I think you have to. Okay. Oh, Jenny.
Jenny, have Jenny say her promise before I ride the bike.
Okay.
Oh God, guys, I'm scared. I'll put the bike helmet on while Jenny's unmuting.
My final promise is to move on from the past and accept it by moving on to make better choices. I will keep this promise by accepting it and forgetting things I regret. We all need to live a life of us moving forward so it won't affect our future.
This is like the best teacher appreciation day of my entire life. Anyone else want to say their promise? I'm getting ready. All the kids who walked away and went and ate cereal and are coming back are like, oh my God, what's going on? If you're sleeping, get up out of bed and say your promise. Anyone else want to say their promise? This is tight. It's good. I see people still live editing. That's good. No one? Lindsay Rosales, I see you in here. You've been emailing me. I know you care about your grade. Can you say your promise out loud? Alexandra, where'd you go? Derek Lopez, it's not too late for you. You don't have to take art during your senior year. Okay, miss. Can you pin my video? I don't know how to do that.
Yes, I got you.
Okay, you tell me if you can see me. I think I just unplugged a bunch of stuff on accident.
Oh no. I can see you.
All right.
All right, everyone.
Say we don't know if the brakes work. Sophomore, this is what you got to do as an older teacher. You got to bribe them.
Your dog's like, what is going on? Hi.
Oh. Okay, guys, thank you for making that. Oh, I got twinkles for riding the bike. Okay, miss, that was brilliant. I'm going to stop recording. I really hope, can you tell your peeps in period 3 to watch this, please, as we go into async time? So again, tomorrow, our async time, I will post this for async time as well. But again, we are saying our promise, clean up your slides, make sure your color dress there, you know what your metaphors are, and you are adding onto your mask, find junk, putting it on, and then wrapping it with paper mache. And you should come to class with that done. And Miss Hibbler, we're going to focus on color theory at the end of the week, yes?
Yes.
We think about painting. Oh my gosh, so exciting. So don't even touch those acrylic paints and start painting, y'all. Don't do that. All right, my dog's making weird noises. Hey everyone, have a good day, twinkles.